Y'all, there is a new bug in town. Today, we need to talk about the Vanishing Spellement glitch that made its way through the spring update. I want this video to double as both a public service announcement so you can avoid the glitch, and also I want to talk about how this update has felt like to me personally, because it's not been pretty. So what is this glitch, right? Basically, this update featured a bunch of new spellments for a bunch of shadow spells, but also scions for every school. And the scions are very relevant because they made the PvP only version pats actually accessible in PvE. So this is something, regardless of whether you're a PvPer or not, this is like a spellment that you would be interested in. Unfortunately, these are bugged. Someone in Discord, like the Wizard101, basically found out about this and they, you know, put out a warning, but I wanted to spread the word. If you get enough spellments to upgrade these, there are several things, including resetting your training points, resetting the spellment path, relogging, amongst other things, where if you do those things, right, you'll just lose the spellments. People have been seeing their tier 3 and tier 4 scions jump right the hell back to tier 2. And anybody that knows how spellments are, like how hard they are to grind, will know, like, losing like hundreds of spellments because of a glitch, that is ridiculous. Let's seriously hope that King's Isle actually finds a way to track the lost spellments so they can reset them. That is something that they're gonna have to do quite transparently. But in the meantime, if y'all want to avoid this glitch, it seems like spellments that are just kept in your inventory are safe from this glitch. This glitch does not apply to any shadow enhanced spells, thankfully. So out of like what, the 5 to 6 spells that your school probably got through spellments, thankfully only one of them is affected. However, this is not the only glitch that is associated with this test run, and that's kind of the larger umbrella that I kind of wanted to talk about. Not every update can be a banger. I actually do believe, with all of its problems, I do believe it's salvageable, and I wanted to talk about all the issues. One, this is something that I honestly just think they need to start doing more often. If a spring update is supposed to really be highlighted by a gauntlet, it would be nice to see the gauntlet dropped at the launch of the spring update. That actual gauntlet was a saving grace of this update. A very fun dungeon, replayable. I honestly think I could have a lot of fun with viewers playing it. I bet y'all could have fun with people on your friends list. Right, this little role-playing thing, and the fact that they actually listened to feedback and made one of the wands unique, so it's like, you know, actually worth farming for. These are all good things, but how you gonna hype up a gauntlet and not drop it in the spring update? Right, in the future, I feel like they should let the gauntlet shine during the launch. Otherwise, I mean, I don't know how long we have to wait. Hopefully not long. We have no way of knowing when, but I mean, I feel like that should drop when the spring update drops. I don't mind waiting for a big launch because I think that actually feels like a concrete update. Maybe I'm the only one that feels that way. I feel like that's how they should do things. Now let's talk about the effect that the spells that they added into this game has had on PvP. Oh my god, have I never seen an update so horrifically and negatively change the PvP meta in my life. Let's break down why this PvP meta is just much worse than the previous one. So how it used to be in PvP, every shadow enhanced spell was 2 shadow pips, and because it was double the amount of shadow pips that all of them are now, all of them did more damage. And what they did when they made all these shadow enhanced spells 1 shadow pip is everyone who used to use those double shadow pip spells for damage output lost out. So we're talking about really, like, we're talking about more resist oriented schools with lower damage per pip that lost out on damage output. We're talking about the Mockenspiels of the world, the Grim Readers, the Abominables, the Hungry Caterpillars. Right, those were high damage spells for the high price of 2 shadow spells. Now that damage output is gone. What is the net outcome? That means only high DPP schools have a really, really high damage output. That's a good thing. What's not a good thing is now when there are certain spells that schools still have access to that break school identity, I'm looking at Storm Elf right now, the game becomes unplayable. Storm is the very, very obvious issue here. Right now, they're the only school that has basically kept their insane damage output from before the Shadow Enhanced change. If you're staring down at Storm with a blade and a Storm Owl, they're threatening 7,000 to 8,000 damage easily. Depending on the blade, it could literally be more. So before, you had 2 options, right? You could either out damage them with Shadow Enhanced spells, or you could use shields to mitigate them, or a combination of both. Now, without Shadow Enhanced spells being able to compete with damage output, maybe that's not a bad thing. Now your only option, because a storm can always threaten a kill shot quicker than you, is you have to shield. But they haven't banned Storm Elf yet, and now what we're looking at is this like little like recipe ass gameplay from every goddamn storm where they literally just get the 10 pips, Elf, Owl, and they kill you before you can do anything. The very reason why Storm has 207% damage at max PvP is because they're supposed to be weak against shields. If you see someone staring you down with 8,000 damage, you would think a shield should matter, but right now, this is literally right now the highest damage in-game response to a shield. It's a dot on a school that's not even based on having damage over time. I'm just gonna say this, enough is enough. Ban this spell. It's been 5 years of broken nonsense. It completely breaks the game. There's no argument anymore. Storm is easily the top of the top because they have the easiest thing that they could possibly do against 5 schools. Every school that can't counter blades, all you have to do is get the 10 pips with 1 buff, Elf and Owl, GG, you win. It's pathetic, frustrating, and this problem has gotten worse now that no one else can actually damage a storm back because these shadow enhanced spells suck ass when it comes to damage. And if y'all thought that was bad, what they've done to the life school has incentivized some of the goofiest nonsense I've ever seen in my life. Update after update after update. Everyone that PvPs is saying they want less heal spamming in PvP. So what do they do to the life school? They make all their OTs bomb dots, maybe not the worst thing, and they made all their healing spells better as a result. So what is the push that's happening here? Lifes are going to be using way less dots, way more healing. You're looking at shads that literally do like 3 times the amount of healing that they do damage for, which is obscene. The playstyle that they're encouraging is no blades, even though life is a blade in school, no real dots, even though life is a dot school. Just heal, 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 and hope either your opponent doesn't have enough counters to keep up with you, or they overextend a little bit and you can heal 3 times and they can only counter twice, right? That's the depth of life PvP strategy right now. They've incentivized people to heal spam. I've only filled this deck half to what I think a lot of people are doing. Does this look like something that anybody wants to fight? I can't be the only one that feels this way. Life should be about using all of the things that they've been building the identity around, not just heal spamming and hoping your opponent can't counter it. That's idiotic and stupid. I personally don't even blame any life wizard for realizing that this is all they're incentivized to do, but they don't have an actual healing cap in PvP. Some of these spells, if you just do them at the right time and your opponent deck fails even once, you can literally reset the game over and over and over again. Like gnomes, if you have 2 to 3 heals on, this spell will heal you 2 to 3 more times. It's basically just a complete reset every single time you happen to not keep up with it. I understand that every school has stuff that's hard to keep up with sometimes, but healing is completely out of control. I don't know what they were thinking with all the feedback that they've gotten over the years that healing is out of control to literally make healing both more incentivized and better to spam. And finally, they also added a shad that buffs damage over time. The other thing that a lot of people feel is very unnecessarily overpowered. And while this is fine, where is there any shad that does anything that good against dots? No. Where is the life shad that can take a dot and push it back over to your opponent? Where's the shad that can do it twice? Right? If fire can keep getting things that literally can feint a dot because they can literally just like they're fire, why can't other schools get stuff that's just as punishing against this? I just don't get the logic. Right? We're seeing dot spamming and hot spamming. We're seeing Storm Elf on a school that is way too powerful to be having a spell that spammable and good. Right? We're seeing these things affect the meta multiple updates and they're doing nothing about it while they're also introducing all these new glitches. This update is salvageable only with the hotfix, something that's a little bit more than what they've decided to do with this update. I don't think it's reasonable to expect people to put up with jading literal like round 5 deaths off of 1 Storm Elf spell and every fire doing the exact same 3 moves over and over again. I don't think people want that in PvP. That's just a hot take. And if you're not into PvP, what else does this update give you so far? There's no gauntlet. Half the spellments are glitched. They need to shape up, man. I'm sorry for the rant, but this has really frustrated me, and I want this video, 1, to let you guys know if you have these Scion spellments, they are not safe to use to upgrade. But also, I would love to hear y'all's thoughts on the quality of this specific update. Do y'all feel as frustrated as me, especially if you do PvP, but honestly with anything? Here's to hoping that they do have another update coming soon that can address half of these things. I mean, there's still literally aura-based shads. I haven't even brought those up that haven't even been added into the game. I feel like we need like 5 hotfixes to fix some of this garbage, so hopefully that happens sooner than later. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if y'all think my criticisms are unfair, maybe even. I'd love to hear y'all's thoughts. Drop a like if you enjoyed, leave a sub if you're new, and as always, if somebody hasn't told you you're awesome today, they doing something wrong. Stay awesome. See y'all soon. And yeah.